What is up? I'm Aaron, the Sober Life Coach. I'm a coach, author, speaker, and I've been 7 years sober for the past 7 years. And I did that without AA or rehab. And I want to share some of the insights I have taken over the last 7 years to help you guys get to where you want to be with your alcohol-free lifestyle and reset your relationship with alcohol and eliminate that need to drink so that you don't have to deal with this for any longer. So today we're going to talk about identity shifts, becoming the sober morning version of you, right? Becoming that sober version of you, that sober 2.0, that version of you that's jumping into life, that version of you may have lost. Maybe you were that version of you before, and then you started drinking, you lost that version of yourself. I want you guys to step into that. I want you to change an identity level. I want you to get back your power and your life, and I want you to take that back one sober morning at a time because guess what? Willpower fades, habits slip, but your identity, that's going to stick, right? So you can either have the identity of this person right now that you're sitting here dealing with, right? The drunk version of you, the person that doesn't show up, the person that has the guilt, the shame, the anxiety, that person that, dealing all these things, trying to white knuckle it alone. Or you could jump into the sober version of yourself every single morning and, have that identity level change, have that person of you, that version of you come back into your life. And it's one of the most amazing things you can do in your life. I know for me, when I quit drinking, I forgot about how much alcohol was holding me back. I didn't realize how much it was holding me back in my career. I didn't realize how much it was holding me back in all aspects of my life, my relationships, all those things, because I didn't realize that I had lost that little part of me. And once I got that part back, that sparked that fire, a lot of things in my life started to change. So because I spent years trying to white knuckle my way through this, but once I shifted from I'm trying not to drink to I'm the kind of person who wakes up clear and in control, everything changed. It changed an identity level. I wasn't just trying to quit drinking. When I finally quit for good, I was trying to, eliminate that need to drink. I was trying to look at the problems that are underlying in my life and change them and work on them and get better and put better habits in place as well, to get to where I wanted to go, right? And once we start doing that, once we start, not just white knuckling, not just removing alcohol, because what happens when you remove alcohol, there's still a void there, right? There's something different, there's something there that's going to be a gap, a void, something that you have to fill. And usually, alcohol or other bad habits or bad relationships, all these things kind of come in there and fill that because we haven't dealt with the underlying issues and the solution that we thought alcohol was giving us. A lot of us, it's stress, anxiety, those kinds of things. Once we start changing identity level, putting those habits in place that we need to change, and we start rewiring those habits, then we can change for good. At least that's what happened for me. So you're going to see how to move from forcing your sobriety into living sobriety through identity, clarity, and stacked wins. That's an amazing. So the first thing I would like to explain is be do have versus do be have, right? The old way of thinking is once I quit drinking, which is the doing, then I'll feel better, which is the having, then I'll be sober, which is the being. A lot of people think this way, right? You quit drinking, right? That's the doing, that's the action. Then I'm gonna feel better. I'm gonna have a sober life, and then I'll be sober, and that's the becoming. That's who you want to become. That's you want to be sober, right? And that's a way of thinking that a lot of people get stuck in. That's a way of thinking that it seems to be the thing that most people think, right? You want to do, you want to have, you want to be, and that's how people think, and then they get trapped in this thing where they're like they quit drinking, they remove alcohol, but nothing changes in their lives, and they get stuck there, right? You don't want to be that way. There's a new way of thinking, right? I'm a sober parent, right? Which is the becoming. So I do what sober people do, right? And then I have the clarity and the edge I want, which is the having, right? So I am a sober parent. I am a sober person. I am a sober 2.0, right? And I do what sober people do, right? And I have the clarity and the energy I want, and that's the goal, right? So you're going from do be have to be have do, right? So you become that person every single day. You try to take actions that person would have. That's why it's so important to have a vision, an idea of what that sober you version of you looks like, right? What do they look like? How do they act? What kind of habits do they have? Kind of creating this little sober vision in your mind so that you can have this, you can start stepping in this new identity of being a sober person. So uh sober identity statements you can use, right? These kind of like affirmations, but affirmations are kind of passive. I would really get into these, write these down, embody these, right? You can write and repeat. I'm the kind of person who wakes up clear. I'm the kind of person who has sober mornings. I'm the kind of person, I'm a that's a present parent. I'm the kind of person that doesn't need alcohol to handle stress. These identity statements or affirmations are grounded in action, right? Make sure they're grounded in action. Make sure that you're not just saying it. So if you say I'm the kind of person who wakes up clear, then let's start doing that. Let's track these wins. Let's have start the first horizon we should look towards is getting that first those first sober mornings. What is sober tomorrow going to look like if I have a drink? What's tomorrow going to look like if I don't have a drink? And start stacking those sober mornings and get through those. I'm a present parent. Okay, well, if you're the kind of person that's a present parent, let's spend time with their children. Let's connect with their families. Let's put the effort in to do that, right? I'm the kind of person who doesn't need alcohol to handle stress. Awesome. So let's put plans in place so you don't need alcohol to handle stress. Let's uncover with the limiting beliefs that how you have around alcohol. Let's work on a solution to get that's different than alcohol, right? Because these identity statements and affirmations are great. You can talk all day, but talk is cheap if you don't have action. Action is the key to taking that, and it's taking a step forward into that sober version of you. And you are taking action by watching the videos. You are taking action by listening to my voice this morning. You are taking action, and that's awesome. Let's continue doing that, and let's start taking action instead of just talking about change, right? So stacking wins is another thing that's going to really solidify your identity here. Stacking wins is daily period, one sober one at a time. Micro wins, macro identity, right? The more evidence you stack, the stronger your identity becomes. I'm such a big fan of a sober journal. I love having a sober journal. I recommend it to everybody I speak to about living an alcohol-free lifestyle because it's so important to track these wins. I wish I would have tracked so much more stuff when I was first getting sober, right? Because these sober wins are kind of like your fuel on the fire, right? They're the things that started to solidify your identity. Because you can try and change your identity all day long, but if you don't have the proof, then you're not gonna want to continue doing it. But we started getting that proof. Okay, today I woke up sober this morning. That's awesome. Let's track that down. How do you feel? What is it like? What are you doing with this sober morning? Track that down, right? And then the next one could be maybe I got through some an event sober. Awesome. Track that down. Did it go well? Did it not? What can I change? And if you think you're failing or you made a mistake or you had a slip up there, what happened? Let's track that down too. Having a sober journal is so great, just for changing identity, just for having that thing there so you can see it. It's visual. It's something that you can track. As the stacking wins is awesome. It's an amazing thing to do. And let's look at these horizons that we're looking at, right? So in my coaching program, we have four different horizons, right? The first one is the next sober morning. The second one is we're going to stack a week of sober mornings. The third one, we're going to stack a whole month of sober mornings, right? And then we're going to look into 90 days of sobriety and what that's going to look like, right? And we kind of just go one at a time till we get there. So your next sober morning, who have I become? What old beliefs did I shed, right? A horizon technique kind of looks forward, for the first day, the next week, the 30 days, the 60 days, and the 90 days. And I'm not a big believer in having to track the days or counting them or starting over, but it just gives you something to look forward to, right? If this is who I am now, who will I be in a week? Who am I going to be tomorrow? Who am I going to be in 30, 60, 90 days, a year from now? If you continue stacking these wins and getting to where you want to go, it just gives your brain something to look forward to because there's something in your brain called the reticulating activating a system. The reticulating activating system is one of those things that, you have this thing in your brain where it focuses on things, right? So if you focus on, how sobriety sucks, you have this fear of missing out, you have, being sober is kind of this crappy thing, then your brain's gonna start seeing that. But if you focus on a sober life, you have a vision, you have value, you have your sober values, you have all these things we talk about, then you're gonna be able to move forward with this and get to where you want to go, and your brain's gonna start picking it up. It's like have you ever had, wanted like a red, say you wanted the red sports car, right? And you're talking about it, you're looking at it, you're looking at the prices, you're gonna buy it, you're saving up, and then you start seeing these red cars everywhere. Well, guess what? They didn't appear nowhere. They were there. Your brain just kind of filtered them out. Now your brain's focused on that. Now your brain has something to focus on, and it goes and looks and finds solutions for that. So it's really, really an awesome thing, and it's kind of a little bit of a hack as well, so that you can get your brain to focus on better things than just alcohol. So that's kind of what where the horizon technique comes in. It's just kind of focusing your mind on the next day, what it's going to be like, and your brain's going to pick that up and start changing at an identity level even faster. So that's kind of a little trick. So we're gonna use the Dare to Be Sober method this morning to kind of walk through this. So you're just gonna disrupt. That's the old me talking. Every time you say, "Oh, I'm just a drunk. I'm powerless," all these negative limiting beliefs. Tell yourself, take a breath, take a moment, do the 4x4 breathing, get into a good state, and tell yourself that's the old me talking. Because we want to break these loops. We want to break these mental loops, and you can just tell yourself that's the old me talking. That's not me. That's the old me talking. I no longer talk like that to myself anymore, right? And ask yourself, what would the sober version of me do right now? Right? What is the sober version of me doing right now? So if the sober version of you would connect with their family instead of using alcohol to connect, and then maybe that's the action we should take. Or if you say the sober me is going to meditate instead of use alcohol to relieve my stress, maybe that's the sober version of you that you should step forward to, because every action is a vote for the person you want to become. And we kind of have these two competing things, right? We have the drunk version of ourselves, that old version that we want to get rid of, and we have the sober version of ourselves, and we have this kind of cognitive dissonance, right? That tells us we want to quit, but we can't because there's these limiting beliefs. Let's uncover those beliefs and ask yourself, what would the sober version of me do right now, right? And once you uncover these limiting beliefs, once you start taking action on that sober version of you, once you have that thing in your mind that you say, okay, I'm going to step into this, that's when things are going to change. At least that's what happened for me. And then reframe it. I'm not losing alcohol. I'm gaining my identity, right? A lot of people have this FOMO around alcohol, right? And they have this thing where they think, oh man, it's gonna be so boring. It's gonna suck. Everybody's boring. I don't. And guess what? I thought like that too. But you know what happened? I realized I have to have the joy of missing out. The joy of missing out on these things in my life that alcohol has brought me hangovers, anxiety, regret, those things. That's the joy of missing out on those hangovers and the joy of missing out on all the negative crap that alcohol brought into my life. And once I started focusing on the joy of missing out on these things and the joy of having new things in my life, that's when everything changed. So you're not losing alcohol. I'm gaining a new identity, right? So that's going to be helpful as well. And then execute. Act as your sober identity today. What is the sober action that you're going to take today that sober version of you took that they would take, right? Is it connecting to the family? Is it meditating instead of drinking? Is it uncovering habit loops? Is it tracking your triggers? What kind of identity does this person have, this new version of you have, and what kind of actions are they taking? Because that's going to be super important as well. And here's kind of six sober habits that your brain craves, that you can use to kind of step into this new identity, right? And replace the loops, these drinking loops, with these habits, right? Journaling, mindfulness, connection, exercise, learning, and a meaningful observing project. Those are the kind of things that the sober version of me does, and I try to do those on a daily basis. And I'm not perfect; nothing's perfect all the time, but I try and focus on these things in my life so that I can live a happy, healthy, sober life. So today's mission is disrupt that old thinking, right? That's the old me talking. Just tell yourself that's the old me talking. Sometimes it even works to disassociate yourself from this voice in your head, like that's the witch bitch or the evil clown or something, right? So it kind of disassociates you from that, so that you're able to kind of get to a better place and realize that that's not you. These cravings, this pressure to drink, all these things in your mind is not you. You're disconnected from that, right? And ask yourself, what would the sober version of me do right now? What would they do? Would they drink, or would they have look forward to this sober morning. Look forward to the next horizon, which might be tomorrow, your first sober morning, and stacking those sober mornings over time, and getting to that next sober morning. That might be the thing where you're at right now, and that would be something that the sober version of you would focus on, right? What is tomorrow going to look like if I have a drink and if I don't have a drink? Let's play that tape forward so that we can move forward with this, and then reframe. I'm not losing alcohol. I'm gaining my identity. I'm not losing out. I don't have a fear of missing out. I have the joy of missing out on all the hangovers, anxiety, regret, those nasty things that alcohol brings into your life, right? And execute as you act as your sober identity. How can you act like that today? What's one action or something you can do to stack these sober wins over time so that you can start becoming this person? You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do everything all at once, but what's one action you can take that your sober version of you that you're stepping into would take, and that would solidify your sober identity. So the horizon vision for today is ask yourself, do I want to regret tonight or have clarity tomorrow? Start with one thing, one win in your next sober morning. Just focus on that next horizon, the next sober morning, tomorrow morning. What's it going to look like, right? Those kinds of things. That's the kind of things that the sober version of me does, and that's the kind of thing the sober version of you can do as well. So, and then when in doubt, disrupt, ask, reframe, and execute, and dare print that post-it, use it. It's something that you guys can have all the time with you. I want you to tattoo that on your brain because it's such an important thing because you can can, when you're having a craving, when you're having a bad day, when alcohol's like, oh, and you need to drink, just tell yourself, I need to disrupt this. I need to ask better questions. I need to reframe what's going on here, and then I need to execute on my plan that I already have in place. So hopefully that helps. Thank you so much for letting me be your coach, you guide. Life is so much better on the sober side. And yeah, it's looking forward to the next couple of weeks. I have something exciting on September 25th. My episode on the Spreading the Good Buzz podcast will be up and running. So that's going to be awesome. So check that out. If you haven't, check their YouTube channel out as well, because it's going to be a great talk with those guys. And hopefully we can spread some good news and let people know what's going on with Silver Morning Reset, and also help some people live an alcohol-free lifestyle. So that's going to be amazing as well, and it also helps a couple coaching spots in the Silver Morning Reset coaching program. If you want that, just click the link in the email or wherever you're watching this, and I will jump on a sober strategy call and see where you're at and help you create a plan for the next 30, 60, 90 days if you want to work with me. So anyways, guys, have a meaningful day. I will see you guys in the next video.